welcome back to Chapel Station. It's a grey, wet, rainy Sunday morning. My wife's gone out for the morning, so I've taken the opportunity to come down to the railway room. I've got my cup of tea. I've got lots of equipment and bits to show you, and I've got some plans for the viaduct, which is just over my shoulder there. So hopefully I'm going to crack on and get a lot done this morning. So let me just turn the camera around and I'll show you my plans and then film it throughout the day. So yeah, the first thing I want to show you is I've actually splashed out on a few little bits to hopefully improve the YouTube videos. So I've got an extra tripod, a microphone, which I haven't managed to get to work so far, so I've been using my AirPods, which seem to be recording okay, but I appreciate any feedback on the sound levels. But obviously I have to have them in my ears all the time. I've got a shutter stop for the actual camera video. I've got a little lighting rig there to help improve the lighting, and then I've actually on the side of that I've also got a camera holder, so I can put the phone on there, hopefully light it, and obviously it's on a tripod as well, so yeah, hopefully that will help me take better videos. Actually, while I'm pointing down, can you see my carpet? I got that actually on Father's Day from my daughter. It's an old LMS coach carpet. So yeah, just adds to the railway room effect. Anyway, on to what my plans are today. So if I just swing you around, you will see that I've got polystyrene, I've got filler, got some insulation board, knives, glue, and if I swing you around again, I've actually also got, as you can see over there, I've got Charlie from Chadwick, his viaduct up, and he's a couple of episodes on how to make his viaduct and his valley there. So I'm going to try to attempt to make something similar. Don't suppose it'd be as good, but thank you, Charlie, for the tips. And yeah, so I'll have that playing as well to help me along the way. So what have I got over here? If you remember the ballast system, I built the road, which is a solid road. Then I wanted to work out how to put a bridge across. So, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money on the bridge, to be honest. So looking around online, I quite liked an arch, and I quite liked an archway across there, and I found these Hornby ones, and I think I only paid £6 each from brand new from Hatton's, which is an absolute bargain. The problem is with them is that they are single track, which isn't wide enough. So my solution was to buy two. So yeah, so the first job today, I think, will be to get my Dremel out, cut this up a bit, and see if I can turn it from a single track to fit my roadway, so sort of double track or double road as it is in my case. And then work out exactly how I'm going to fit that in there, and then I can then build the valley around it. So yeah, so that's my first job. Then the second job will be to actually start cutting away and trying to create a bit of a valley. And then obviously before I glue it all in, I then need to pay some attention to the actual, both the viaduct and the bridge there, and get them painted and weathered and in place properly, so I can then finish the actual viaduct around it. So absolute loads to be getting on with, and at the same time, I'll probably start to think about how I'm going to incorporate what will be my tunnel area as well, so that you've got a tunnel over into the viaduct, and then I also want to have a river down there as well. So just a few bits to do. Anyway, I'll try and video bits as I go along, and hopefully you can learn from my mistakes probably. But you can see what I've done, and yeah, fingers crossed it'll go well. So I'll speak to you again soon. So looking at these viaducts here, I think the best option will be to take these tops off, so I can cut them to fit. Then I'll probably just glue them together. Think about taking that whole side off, but I think probably when they're glued, you're not really going to see them from underneath. Maybe a shot up, and then I could line the underneath a bit of plastic card, so you won't see the joins anyway. The both ends will be covered by the valley. So yeah, I think if I can just get them to join flush, I'll probably have to cut these profile off on both of them. But I think to take the tops off will be the first option. and then see what I can do with the Dremel, get the Dremel out and see what I can do with cutting them and see how they look. So yeah, let's get cracking. Okay, so not the prettiest bit of Dremel work I've ever done, but it almost melted its way through, but it got through fairly easy. And that fits back on there nicely, and I've done that side. And actually size wise, it fits pretty well. I mean, they're touching that side, and actually it's almost spine, just maybe the wood's slightly wide there. But you can see the issue is that the road surface, particularly once I fillet it, will be up to the top of the balustrade there. So I'm quite happy with that look, but doesn't work really for the guarding for the cars. So what I might have to do is take these off and then use the other one to build that up, and then I can put a new piece on. I quite like the idea of having a footpath across as well as the roadway, but probably just one side, maybe on the front, so people can look down into the valley a little bit and the river. But then that would make it too wide as well. I could have a footpath and a little bit of a guarding that side. So then what I'm going to do is cut these off both sides, glue it all together, and then I can put a bit of plastic card and then use the spare ones, which is over here, to cut that and then put that on top. So it looks like it's just got that with a piece underneath. If that makes sense. So yeah, bit more chopping around to be done. Okay, a quick update after my dodgy disc cut with my Dremel. I didn't film the next stage because I just sort of got in a bit of a roll, but anyway, as you can see, these are the pieces I cut off and the front I've cut off. I've now glued them in place, and I've also glued the bridge, or the two bridges arches together, and I whacked a bit of filler in the gap there. I'll give a sanding in a minute and probably refiller it as well. And then for the parapet wall that I cut off, as I said, that was too low when it was on the wood, so I've got a little bit of plastic card sheet. I had to cut 2 lengths of that, so that will then sit on the bridge, but it will sit pretty flush. It actually almost creates a little curve, so that's a good height. Unfortunately, where my cutting is not perfect, some of them don't quite reach the bottom. You can see that on the camera. But I might have to just do a bit of filling on that once I actually get them in place. So, yeah, interesting. But, so they'll sit on there now. In fact, that one's cut out, so it can go the other side. Spin it around. So it'll be a case of doing a bit more filling, glue them in place, and give the whole thing a primer, and then offer it up to my Fowler bridge and make sure it all fits properly, and then I can get on with actually creating the valley. Okay, we've now made a bit more progress. As you can see, the balustrades are now glued on the top there, and then I've put the bridge in place, which I had to do so that I could get the right spacing to fit that second balustrade on. So I've just glued that in position and wait for that to dry before I can remove it and then give the whole thing a bit of a prime. But as you can see, I think that fits pretty well. And then if I look down here, that's some of the angles it will get from the river and the river bank. I've now taken the bridge away and given that spray, so that's drying, and then I thought I'd now start to lay out my polystyrene and work out where my river goes. Quite like the idea of the middle support being on like an island and the river flowing either side. So I've drawn the pen out there. Because of the way I've connected the board, half by plan and half by just, it was easier, I've screwed this one to the underneath of the top one, so it's created a ledge. And then I thought, oh, that'd make quite a good waterfall effect. So when you're sort of taking video shots from down here, you'll see a little waterfall here. So to do that, I've built up this back up so the land is level, but the obviously river drops away. Now what I've got to do is put some of the insulation board, cut that, and start building up the bank here so that the land's level and creates a valley, or a riverbed, shall I say, for the viaduct, if that makes sense. So I'll video a few bits as I go along. I'm using sticks like Evo stick, that one down there, to glue it in place, because it's quite instant. Well, I say instant, it takes about an hour to set, but it sort of grabs straight away, so it's quite nice to put in position, but you can still move it about for a little while. So yeah, I think there's a lot of cutting, a lot of mess, and sort of build it up and see how it goes. Okay, so as you would have seen from the time lapse, I've had a lot of fun cutting away stuff, making lots of mess, so I'm going to have to get the hoover out in a minute. Now some of it is obviously to be there permanently, and then some I've just put in place really just so I can visualise what it's going to look like and see if I'm happy with it before I start building it all. But overall I think it works. So let me just run you through what I've done. So you'd have seen that I've cut away using the big foam board to create my river and my bank. And it's going to be quite a wide river, you can see up there. And then I'm going to have a bit of a waterfall going on here as well. And then this will be in the middle of the river on an island. This will be on the path. I'm going to just build it up around there. So, and then looking at the Hornby arch bridge I got, I'm quite pleased with that. It's now been primed, it's dried, obviously it's in place. Fits in really snug. Don't think you can tell too bad that I've cut it about that much. Even from underneath, it's, you know, gets the desired effect, I think. So quite pleased with that. Fits really well on the road once I've plastered the road for the Falla wires. And then filled in there, I'll have a little pathway across as well. Have it both sides because it's just the way it fitted. And then you can see there I've mocked up what it's going to look like. So you're going to have just a bank finish here. I might have a little car park there so the cars can sort of pull in and enjoy the vista. That's going to go up to hillside and a tunnel, and maybe build that up a bit higher so you can't see the back scene hill. Well, that looks quite nice the way it works, so maybe I'll have it flat, I'm not sure yet. Maybe a little field going on there with some sheep. And then scrolling around here, obviously I've got to blend the top of the chapel area with my tunnel, or hide it maybe, put some trees along here just to try and sort of disguise the transition. Not quite sure yet, I'll have to think about that. But I've got a bit of a tunnel portal I've put in place there, and then there'll be banked round there, and there'll be a bit of a cutting. Might have a little bit more open here, I'm not sure yet. That looks a little bit too, so you can see the cars, but you don't want to see them loop round too much, so it's quite good to hide that entrance. But yeah, overall I think that works really quite well. The trouble is the bridge, the arch bridge here, fits in really nicely and tightly. Tightly, is that right? Really tight. But to get it out, I can't have these in place, I have to move these. So I'm probably going to have to take it all apart, do the bridge now, and do the arch. So again, they're going to be very difficult to get out now once I start gluing all this in place. So get them out, paint them up, weather them, put them back in place, then I can then start gluing all this. I need to get some more of this insulation board. And having used some insulation board and some polystyrene, the insulation board is fantastic. It cuts and really easily with a knife or a saw, and it makes a mess, but nowhere near as much a mess as a polystyrene. It's really solid, it's really easy to cut because it's firmer. So yeah, all in all, it's much better, I think. Anyway, I think I'll stop rabbiting on here now and call it a day. It's now late afternoon on Sunday, so yeah, I'm just going to have to go and get some more insulation board and carry on next week. So I'll give you an update again soon. Well, that was a heck of a night. Thanks, Storm Ciaran. The good news is the railway room is safe, even though it's got some big trees above it. But my pond should be there, and this massive great oak, as you can see there, huge branch off the side and the top has come down, taken out my pond, which I don't know if that's survived or not underneath there. But the railway room does look completely intact. There's a bit of a tree on the side here. But let's just go in and check, and hopefully it's all okay. Can't see any leaks or anything. That's a heck of a storm. I can put a couple of clips in here for those that haven't seen it on social media. Also we've got another tree down up the garden there as well, top of the garden. But the house is okay. But yeah, 100-mile-an-hour winds, lightning, thunder, hailstones, torrential rain, and the island has been devastated. Trees down everywhere on the road, so we can't go anywhere. But the good news is, it means I can do some modelling today before I think about how I'm going to get rid of that tree. So I'm going to crack on with the tunnel area and the hillside here, just so I can sort of work out how that's all going to fit in there. Then I'll have to make a stop, take out the bridges and the viaduct and get them painted and weathered and back in, and then I can finish off the landscape in the side and the valley as well. So I shall video a few bits as I go along, but making good progress. Okay, to give you a quick update, I had a little bit of a setback on doing my scenery because I realised that my tunnel portals weren't fixed in position. They hadn't been weathered. My track is also not been weathered and it's not been ballasted. I really wanted to do all that before I actually put the tunnel, the hillside over all the tunnel area. I also wanted to put a couple of extra power feeds for the DCC bus bar in here as well, just to make sure it's good coverage. So yeah, so there's a lot of things I hadn't done, and then when I was putting the tunnel in, I was also going to extend these so that when you see in from the outside, you know, you don't see that there's no tunnel doesn't continue. Now fix these in position, but obviously in the process of moving them, I then had to make sure there's enough clearance with the coaches and that. And I've given them a bit of weathering. And I have put a power feed in there, so you can see it, a dropper there. And I'm just about to do one here. Then I'm going to weather the track, and then I'm going to ballast the track. Probably apart from these points, I'm not going to go near the points at the moment, but I can still get them afterwards. Okay, well, that was a bit more work than I thought, considering I haven't actually built the hillside yet. But as you can see now, my tracks have all been weathered all the way through the tunnel, or what will be the tunnel, and out the other portal, and the portal's been weathered. And then I've just finished ballasting. I've ballasted it all, put a load of water down PVA on it, and then just scattered a few little bits of grass and greenery on the entrance anyway. I've avoided doing the points at the moment because they're a bit more awkward, as you would know. So just trying to be careful I don't glue them up. But if I just tilt the camera up, hang on. It says it's locked, there you go. Just tilt the camera up and you can just see there now. I think once they're once the roof's on and that, I don't know how well you can see, but once the roof's on, there you go, then I don't think you'll be able to see much. Not from any viewing angles anyway. I haven't continued to paper all the way around, just at the entrance again, just so when you look down and it's dark you won't be able to see it. So now I can actually start building the, well, I'll check it in the morning, make sure that the tracks all run okay and that I haven't done something wrong in ballasting. Check that the electrical continuity is still okay. I've put 2 extra feeds in the middle as well. So yeah, once I'm happy with that, then I can actually start building the tunnel, which is what I actually came in here to do about 4 hours ago. Anyway, at least that's done now. So yeah, once that's dry, probably a few days, then I can crack on with the rest of it. I thought I'd give you a quick update for those that are interested. It's a few days after Storm Ciaran battered the island. We spent most of the day with my family and my daughter's boyfriend, 2 chainsaws, just trying to cut away at this tree, that oak tree that had fallen right over the pond. You couldn't actually see the pond at all, and there was great big chunks of it in the pond. But we managed to remove it all. And as you can see there, the fish have all survived the ordeal, and they all seemed pretty happy, a bit docile, but yeah, they're all okay, and amazing the pond seems to have survived it as well. You might know it's still quite windy, it's still like force 7, force 8 winds at the moment, I think, coming through. More thunderstorms, so it's pretty bleak, especially for those people who have lost their roofs and had a lot of property damage. Fortunately, all we've had is a few trees down. And I can still hear chainsaws in the distance. There are thousands of trees down, lots of roads still blocked. I think there's over 100 people have been put up in hotels. So yeah, it was a really ferocious storm, the worst one I've seen since I've been in Jersey, for sure. But fortunately we didn't get any damage other than the garden, and obviously that can all be cut up and processed and give me firewood in the future, so it's no problem for us. The pound round the railway room is there, that's all fine, no damage to that. Just busy cutting up trees now, so not much time for modelling. I thought I'd give you an update for those that are interested. Obviously you probably would have seen on TV how bad it was, but fortunately for us, we managed to escape it, even though we are surrounded by thousands of trees here, and most of them are still standing. So I'll finish now and get on with cutting up the trees, and I'll see you get back to some modelling soon.